The challenge, I think, for the Republican Party is every single time Donald Trump gets accused of a new crime, if you believe the polls, he seems to get more popular. In fact, he's probably the most likely person to win the general election, or the presidential election, as they'd call it in the United States of America. Bob, thank you so much for coming on the show. Is it possible...
Good to be with you, Jake.
Thank you for coming on. Is it possible that Donald Trump could become your next president with these charges hanging over him?
Well, we certainly hope so. This effort, this idea that somehow or another that we can use the judicial system to accomplish and bypass the electoral process is something that's done in third world countries. It's never been done in America before. And as you see, as this effort is being made, it's being very unsuccessful. You mentioned about the documents being in the loo. Well, the truth of the matter is that they were under lock and key. They were established by the archivist, and they were protected by the Secret Service. And so the effort for the prosecutor to come out, string them along the floor, and take a picture of it and put it out to the press. For those of us in government, it's very startling to see that those in the media are willing to play along with this effort. And the final point I would make, that one of my favorite parts of the series, The Crown, was the night before Queen Elizabeth was to have the official ceremony. She was practicing, and they brought out the crown, and it was a little heavy, and so at the end of the rehearsal, she turned to the keeper of the jewels and said, "Do you think I could borrow that for a little bit tonight?" And to which he looked at her and he said, "Borrow it, ma'am? If it's not yours, whose is it? Borrow it from whom?" And it's a little bit about these presidential documents. There's no question that he has full entitlement to it. They will not go to the first base, but the effort is to make a publicity stunt, to think that they could destroy him by attacking him and to prevent the election process from proceeding. And as you can see, the American people are not buying it.
But Bob, exactly, you're absolutely right. If that is the intention of his political base, it's not working. It's going up in the polls. It's not going down. But look, I'm actually quite a big fan of President Trump. There's lots of things he stands for that I don't necessarily agree with, but he was, in terms of economic growth, the best president of the United States, arguably since Ronald Reagan. But look, I understand he's denied these allegations. You clearly are defending him, but it's not inconceivable that this will continue as he is president. What would happen if, and I know you say it won't happen, but let's play make-believe, if he becomes the next president, which I believe he absolutely can do, but then he is then found guilty of these crimes? Would that be a sort of constitutional crisis in the United States?
No, not at all. This is being prosecuted by the Biden administration. Anyone with any fairness at all would drop these charges immediately. Upon a new attorney general, that would happen, and besides, the president has the capacity to pardon. But let me just give you one more example as to how the effort is to smear, not to be successful. He was charged in the media of raping this woman, and of course, when the charge actually came out, it wasn't rape, it was defamation, that supposedly this man accosted her in a changing booth that was just around the corner. Now, Jake, listen to this. Just around the corner from one of the premier hotels on the planet, the Plaza Hotel, which he owns. Now, would this multimillionaire go into this woman who has made her living by writing a sex column? Would he attack her in this little booth? Well, if he wanted to seduce a person, would he not walk around the corner to the finest hotel? I mean, the whole idea is an effort to smear politically in order to accomplish what they at the media.
The Biden administration was. But look, as I say, Bob, it's not working. Look, just before we let you go, of course, here in Britain, we our own Prime Minister resigned because of he was found to have lied to Parliament. Not by the way, a finding I agree with personally, but that he was found to have lied to Parliament, and it cost him his job. Now, if Donald Trump can come back, Boris, do you think he'd come back? Yes or no?
Can Boris come back?
Can Boris come back?
Well, Boris is just as unique as Donald Trump is, so I don't put anything out of the realm of possibility.